What's up guys, the Strong Boys 19 here. This is going to be the next album review to continue the Mastodon discography, and I'm going to be reviewing the band's second studio album in their discography entitled Leviathan. So Leviathan was released on the August 31st, 2004. This is the second album to be released through the record label of Relapse Records, the follow-up to their debut album of 2002's Remission. Now, as much as I have been really absorbing a lot of the creative yet maddening intensity and punishing heaviness of Remission, I do think that Leviathan is the beginning of where Mastodon are really going to explore and experience a lot more creative, atmospheric, and very versatile ideas. And with this album, Leviathan is the first in their career as a concept album. Now, the inspiration behind this album was the band's drummer, Bran Daylor. He was reading a novel, a very acclaimed novel of Moby Dick, and that is where the whole aspect and presentation of this album begins, from the start to the end of the album. And I'll have to personally say that Leviathan is always one of these albums that really got me into Mastodon, and arguably enough, besides Crack the Sky, which was the first album that I have purchased from the band, Leviathan is to me another one of these progressive metal albums that is an absolute monster. This is, well, a very big metal gem, and this is also the second album in their discography to have a separate theme. And one thing that I forgot to mention in my Remission review, that the first theme of the album Remission, Mastodon made the theme of fire, and with this album, Leviathan has the theme of the water element, hence the obvious, absolutely phenomenal and beautiful, outstanding album cover art. This album, upon its release, they've got a lot more of the attention, and Mastodon then would become a household name. The opening song, Blood and Thunder, personally the most popular Mastodon track, and this is always a wicked monster of an opener. The anticipating guitar riff, and with Bran's frenetic drum introduction, then the whole band madly explodes into so much catchiness. The verse section sounded fantastic, and I also think that it has so much of a brilliant edge, and also the wonderful bridge section with the twin guitar harmonies. And then we get to hear the guest vocals of the track of Neil Fallon from a different band of Clutch. Troy Sanders' vocals commands the vocals so masterfully, and needless to say, with the whole band being at a massive part of aggression, the bridge section with Fallon's vocals, he sounded monstrous on this track. But Blood and Thunder definitely is one of the masterpieces as an opening track. I Am Ahab, the track musically, is another brilliant presentation with some more of the technicality, and it's just an abrasive number. Amazing set of these great riffs. And what I love about this track in particular, this is another one of these phenomenal examples where the band sounded very precise and absolutely tight all the way through. And another one of the highlights onto the album is Sea Beast, which to me is one of the greatest tracks that Mastodon had put out. And Brent Hinds' vocals on this track were excellent. I really do like that Brent's vocals are becoming explorative in the way that he sings more of the melody, and with Troy's vocals, he adds so much more of his aggressive growling distortion on his vocal tones. And same goes with the single of Iron Tusk. This is a number with so much of a menacing, powerful, grunty feel to it, especially with the lower down-tuned guitar written passages of this track instrumentally. And musically, Iron Tusk, just like on I Am Ahab, sounds really groovy, as that Mastodon's musicianship with this album is also awesome. This is definitely another outstanding example. Just like with Remission, Mastodon with the musicianship all in its entirety with this album, they sounded even more chaotic and very, very rhythmic. What I think is the best part about the album is that each track flows each other very, very well. One of the other aggression tracks is of the track of Aqua Dementia, with the feature guest vocal credit of Scott Kelly from another different metal band of Neurosis. And a lot of people will say that Scott Kelly is another one of these guest members that he's been known as like another member in a different band. But I think that Scott Kelly has been a phenomenal addition into the sound of Mastodon. And his vocals on this track sounded really violent and just such a ferocious vocal range. And his vocal performances just fits in and adds in a lot of the character and the aggressiveness with Mastodon's main instrumental ways, and the other vocals from Troy and Brent Hines, and especially the guitar work on this album. This is just another one of those astronomical personalities of Mastodon's music. I love the twin guitar sections and a lot of adventurous ways of Mastodon's instrumentation. And instrumental-wise, like onto the track of Hearts Alive, musically, this is where the abrasiveness and the tension really does collide things. It builds so much. And also the guitar solos, they add a lot of the colors, the atmospheres, the whole production done by the band and Matt Bales. Absolutely amazing. So beefy and huge, very big and massive sound of quality. For a journey like this is just one of these masterpieces in progressive metal, but not only that, but of metal of all time here. And with all of these words being said, Leviathan, as I said, to me, needs no introduction. With the finale track of the instrumental, the second part of the Elephant Man trilogy, this time of the name of Joseph Merrick, this instrumental is absolutely gorgeous. The acoustic guitars are wonderfully played. They just sounded pristine with the tones, and it's just a beautiful way to conclude the album. With that being said, I think Leviathan, to me, is the first metal classic of Mastodon's discography. And also, I am curious to know what you personally think of this album in the comments down below. There is no other rhyme or reason that Mastodon's Leviathan gets an album rating of 10 out of 10. This is, to me, a stronger album than Remission, although I do love Remission so much with the abrasiveness and the monstrous heavy brutality, and that being the heaviest Mastodon album. This album, though, Leviathan, in my opinion, presents Mastodon into something very special for the upcoming later direction as a band, with growing expansions and more influences with the next albums. And this marks Mastodon to later on become one of the other masters of the progressive metal genre. So that's all I would like to say for Leviathan by Mastodon. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll keep you guys posted for more videos in the near future.